Hi, good morning, everyone. So we have the board exams just around the corner, and I thought we'll do a quick video on healthy tips for your kids and, for parents to be able to support their children through the board exams. This is a very stressful period for your children and mostly for parents as well. Let's go through a couple of tips. Number one, make a timetable. Plan your kids' studies so that you can plan in sufficient breaks. Children need breaks during their studies, even while they're preparing for their board exams. Because you see, when your brain rests, then your brain's memory and grasping ability also increases. You are what you eat, and your kids are what they eat. So feeding them the right kinds of foods. Now, it's easy for us to sympathize with children while they're studying and feed them all of that junk food and all that sugar-laden and oily food. But you need to understand that junk food and processed food is rich in sugar and salt, two ingredients which will excite the brain and give them a little bit of energy for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, raise their sugar levels so that they feel energetic, and then there's the crash that hits them. And then they want to eat more and more, and their brain function basically gets kind of blurred. It's called brain fog because of the sugar and the excessive salt. So you want to feed them fresh fruits, you want to feed them fresh vegetables, you want to feed them nuts and seeds, and of course all your normal food at home, your basic Indian food, whether it's vegetarian or whether it's non-vegetarian, egg included. But you want to keep your food as wholesome and as nutritious as possible. Okay, then we move to the next point, where encourage your children to get a good night's sleep. It is extremely important. All that amount of studying with less sleep will basically affect their concentration level the next day, their focus, and the ability for them to grasp what they've memorized or what they've studied. So sleep is extremely important. Gone are the days where you need to burn the midnight oil and study. So if your child prefers to study early in the morning, let them sleep early, wake up early, and study early. If your child likes to study late into the night, let them wake up a little later in the morning. But getting that 6 to 7 hours of solid sleep will actually help them to perform much better, and will keep their energy levels strong throughout the day. Because remember, it's not just one day that they study. They need to study the next day and the next day. For that, they need energy. Energy will come from sufficient rest and recovery and the right amount of food that you put into their systems. Their water intake has to be at optimum. Even a 1% drop of water into their system will basically have an impact on their memory. It'll have an impact on their energy levels. It'll have an impact on them even being able to stay awake, because water is 90% of the human body. Your blood, your lymphatic system, your hormones, your brain requires fluid which comes from water to perform the right way. So make sure they're hydrated. Keep like a jug or a bottle of water on their desk, and keep refilling that all the time. Add a little bit of lemon, keep them alkaline. It gives the water a bit of flavor, so that's great as well. Load up on walnuts, that's for memory, definitely. Almonds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. These are all omega-3 fatty acids which are good for the brain. A tablespoon of coconut oil in the morning, raw coconut oil in the morning, one in the night, one maybe when they're back home, will give them a lot of energy, a lot of brain power. That's extremely important. If you don't want to do coconut oil, you can do a good extra virgin olive oil as well. It's very important that you get your children to engage in deep breathing. Let them take a break every hour and just do a couple of deep breaths, because that stabilizes them, that centers them, that reduces stress level and pressure as well. So it's very important that you engage them in deep breathing. Today, there are so many parents out there that engage their children in meditation. So even 5 minutes before they study, 5 minutes after they study, 5 minutes before they sleep, 5 minutes when they wake up, let them close their eyes and just be with their thoughts, be in silence, be focusing on their breath. A lot of children meditate today, and they know the benefits of that, especially before an exam. It helps you reduce that stress. So that's for all the kids out there and all the children out there. Remember, grades are important, but your life is everything. It's more important than grades. There are many more things in life that are more important than your grades. So yes, focus to do well, but also understand it's not the end of the world. Plan your studies, plan your time. And now this is a message for parents. I actually made a whole list of points for all the parents watching this video right now. Children are usually never stressed about their exams. Very few may be mildly stressed about their exams. Parents are more stressed and more anxious. And their stress and their anxiety creates an environment at home which is stressful and anxious for children. So parents, do not be so stressed and anxious that it rubs off on your children, okay, and drives them with fear and makes them feel anxious and unable to study. Your fear and your anxiety rubs off on your children. So it is your responsibility to create an encouraging and a positive environment, a study environment which is supportive at home for your children. Okay? Then, like I said, there's so much more than just grades. And you need to understand that the mental health and emotional health of your child is far more important than their grades. So many children get scarred with the negative talk from parents, with this undue stress and peer pressure that parents put on their children before and during their exams. Yes, grades are important, your child's education is important, but so is their mental and emotional health. So keep that in check. Believe in your child. This is extremely, extremely important. Your child needs to feel, not see. They need to feel that you believe in them. They need to feel that you trust them. And they need to feel that you support them genuinely. So make sure that your anxiety doesn't rub off on them. Don't ever compare your child to someone else's child or even your own siblings. Don't ever, ever do that. Your child is unique, your child is different, and your child will be successful in whatever way is planned for your child. So by comparing them to other children and saying, oh, Mr. Gupta's son studies like 14 hours in a day and doesn't play during exams, or comparing them with your own siblings, your sister gets better marks than you because she studies more than you, she's more than serious, that does not drive performance in your child. Don't ever compare your children with other siblings or other children as well. Don't ever criticize your child. Do not call them stupid, do not call them dumb, do not call them useless. Do not criticize them because they will be exactly what you label them. There is no need to label your child. Every child is different in their own way, and labeling them and calling them words may make you feel a little bit better because of your own anxiety and your own insecurity issues or what you want them to be, which probably they cannot be at this point. But it doesn't mean that you scar your child and you label them, because all that drives demotivation and poor performance from your child. If your child had a bad paper, there's no need to discuss that bad paper over and over again. They need to move on to the next day. They can have a better day. If they had a bad day, it doesn't need to be a bad day the next day. So if they've had a bad paper, empathize with them and support them and encourage them to do better in the next paper. But do not discuss the previous paper which has gone bad. Do not try to calculate marks. That's the job of the teachers, to calculate marks of your child. Okay, in fact, at that point, support your child positively, encourage them to move on with the next paper and forget about whatever's happened, because that's already past. Parents, this is about your child's exam and their health and their emotional well-being. It is not about you. Let go of your attachment to the results that you want for your children. I know you want the best for them, but now detach. You've done your best as a parent, you're doing your best as your parent. Now let your child go forth and succeed. All you can do is be there for them, support them, always come from a place of love and never fear. Come from a place of trust and never fear. Fear does nothing to drive motivation. Fear does nothing to drive performance. So we have to be aware of how we want our children to be and how we can support them during exams. It is not just healthy food. It is supporting them with the right food for their mind and for their soul. Have a good day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. And to all the children out there, good luck, do your best, and remember, life is much, much more than just your grades. Give it your best shot.